Liberals. How are we feeling tonight, Halifax? My friends, before we get started, let's give it up one more time for an incredible voice for Haligonians, Andy Fillmore. And while we're at it, let's hear it for the rest of our amazing candidates too. It is so great to be back here with old friends and just as many new ones. Whether this is your first Liberal rally or your second or your 10th, it is great to see you all. I want to start by saying something I really can't say often enough to all of you. Thank you. I know you've been pulling late nights and early mornings, knocking on doors and sharing our Liberal plan to move Canada forward. But know that every call you make, every door you knock, every conversation you have helps bring us one step closer to victory on Monday night. So, for all you do and for all you're going to do in the remaining days, thank you. Merci, mes amis. So, tonight, Halifax, I want to talk to you about the future of Canada, the greatest country in the world. Because in this election, there are two very different visions of Canada on offer. One will take us backward, one will move us forward. Andrew Scheer wants to give a $50,000 tax cut to millionaires. He wants to scrap the first and only national climate plan Canada has ever had, and he wants to cut the services you rely on most. Here's what I want to do. I want to cut taxes for the middle class and people working hard to join it. I want to keep fighting climate change. And I want to keep investing in your future. Backwards or forwards, that's the choice of this election, and it's yours to make. Lorsqu'ils sont dans l'opposition, les conservateurs s'opposent à des politiques bien pensées qui aident les gens. Et ensuite, ils font campagne sur la peur et font des fausses promesses. Une fois arrivés au pouvoir, ils baissent les impôts des plus riches et coupent les services sur lesquels les gens de la classe moyenne dépendent. C'est tout simplement ce que les politiciens conservateurs ont l'habitude de faire. Et cette élection ne fait pas exception à la règle. Just like conservative premiers across the country, Andrew Scheer will cut the things you and your family rely on. But don't take my word for it. Take his. We now finally learned what's in Andrew Scheer's platform. No wonder he's been hiding it for so long. No wonder he tried to bury it late on the Friday evening of a long weekend. You can sum up Andrew Scheer's platform in just 3 words. Cuts, cuts, cuts. $53 billion worth. To put that in perspective, think about it. Andrew Scheer's cuts are more than double the cost of the Canada Child Benefit. Almost 20 times what we spend on student aid, and about 5 times Nova Scotia's entire annual budget for everything from roads to hospitals to seniors. You get my point. $53 billion is a big, big number. Mais pour les politiciens conservateurs comme Andrew Scheer, il y a juste les services destinés aux plus riches qui sont importants. Il n'hésite pas à enchaîner les coupures dans les services qui aident la majorité des Canadiens. Il coupe dans l'éducation, dans les soins de santé, dans les services de garde pour enfants, dans les infrastructures. Je pense que les gens en ont assez, des politiciens conservateurs qui ne font que couper. In this election, the choice couldn't be clearer. Do you want cuts or investments in the middle class? Do you want cuts or real action on climate change? Do you want cuts or more affordable education for students? Do you want cuts or do you want to give seniors the benefits they deserve? My friends, Andrew Scheer wants you to gamble with your family's future and double down on conservative politicians right across the country. But Halifax deserves better. Canadians deserve better. In this election, here's the question you have to ask yourself. Do you want $53 billion worth of conservative cuts? Or do you want a progressive government that will continue investing in families and in communities? That's the choice. It's that simple, and it's that important. And in terms of the NDP and the Greens, remember this. If you want progressive action, you need a progressive government, not a progressive opposition. The only way to stop conservative cuts is to vote Liberal. In 2015, we closed the book on the Harper decade. We can't afford to go back. Thank you. My friends, the very first thing we did when we formed government was cut taxes for the middle class by raising them on the wealthiest 1%. And if we win this election, our very first act in Parliament will be to cut taxes for the middle class again. And contrast that for a moment with Andrew Scheer's tax changes. Under a new Conservative government, a person making $400,000 a year would benefit more from than a person making $40,000 a year. That's not fair. And Andrew Scheer would create a tax shelter for millionaires that would let them save as much in taxes as the average Canadian earns in a year. That's not right. Liberals believe in giving more help to the middle class and those working hard to join it, and less help to millionaires. That's why our tax cut, coupled with our plan to slash cell phone bills by 25%, will save the average Canadian family $1,500 a year. Because that's how we move Canada forward. Mes chers amis, on va rendre la vie plus abordable. On va lutter contre les changements climatiques et on va resserrer le contrôle des armes à feu. Je sais qu'on peut y arriver parce que je crois en notre équipe et je crois en chacun d'entre vous. Et surtout, j'ai profondément confiance dans les Canadiens. My Liberal friends, we started this journey together years ago because we believed that better was always possible. And from the very beginning, this movement was never about us. It's always been about people. It's about the workers at Michelin and IMO Foods and Hobbolt Industries, who we fought for during the NAFTA negotiations. And it's about the Indigenous communities who now finally have clean drinking water. It's about the students who can sleep easier at night knowing they don't have to pay back their loans right away. And it's about the parents who can now afford to buy new winter boots and snowsuits for their kids. That's what we're doing here. That's what this is about. My friends, Andrew Scheer wants people to think this election is about me. This election isn't about me. This election is about you. This is your country and your choice, and it couldn't be clearer. So let's do what Canadians always do. Let's pull together. Let's go knock doors. And on October 21st, let's say no to Conservative cuts and let's choose forward. Merci, mes amis. Thank you so much. Come on outside. Thank you. Thank you, Liberals.